Hey there race fans, welcome to the halfway point of the GTCC 602 Championship of 2024. We're about to start race 9 today at the Nurburgring in Germany after a very strange race at Nurburgring last week in Switzerland. Mikey Doble led the race the entire way and for some reason went into pit on the last lap, letting a couple of drivers through. As you can see, we'll just run through the top 10 drivers in the standings so far. Me in position number 1 with 159 points. Mikey Doble still in second despite that weird finish last week with 150 points. In third is Aaron Tyler Smith with 123. Fourth, Tom Ingram with 117. Ashley Sutton with 114 in fifth position. Adam Morgan in the Jaguar in sixth position with 113. Tied with Josh Cook in the Honda Civic Type R. Daryl DeLeon in 8th position in the Ford Mustang GT, and Chris Smiley in 9th in the BMW M2. 10th position held by Sam Osborne in the Mercedes GTR AMG. Well, let's move on to the track and have a look at the starting order for today's race. As we know, your finishing position in your race is your qualifying starting position for the next one. So we'll have a very different looking lineup today. As you can see, I'm still in position number 1 in the Toyota Celica. In position 2, Tom Ingram in the Porsche 911 GT3. In third, Chris Smiley in the BMW M2 competition. In fourth is Mikey Doble in the Maserati Gran Turismo S after that mistake he made last week. Then we have in position number 5 Andrew Watson in the Porsche Cayman GT4. The Porsche is really coming up in the order. Position number 6 held by Josh Cook in the Honda Civic Type R. Ashley Sutton starts in position number 7 in the Toyota MR2. Daryl DeLeon holds 8th position on the grid with the Ford Mustang GT Premium. And 9th is Adam Morgan in the Jaguar F-Type. In 10th, Aaron Tyler Smith in the Subaru Impreza Coupe. Daniel Rowbottom in position number 11 in the Volvo V40. In 12th, Rob Huff in the Toyota Supra. 13th held by Aidan Moffat in the Alfa Romeo Giulia. In 14th, Sam Osborne in the Mercedes AMG GTR. Tom Chilton up to 15th position in the Nissan Skyline GTR V-Spec, the R33. And in 16th we have Colin Turkington in the Nissan Fairlady Z. 17th is held by Dan Camish in the Nissan GTR Premium. In position 18, Jake Hill in the Honda S2000. Nick Halstead really down at the back of the order in the Aston Martin in position number 19. Hopefully he'll have a better race out here today. And I'm hoping the same for Dan Zelos in the Audi TT, who's really been struggling the entire championship thus far. But for now, let's get out onto the track. We're not sure what weather conditions we're going to be expecting out here today at the Nurburgring. It is Germany, so I am thinking we're most likely going to have some form of precipitation out there somewhere through the race. But let's hop onto the track and we'll see what those conditions are like. And we're about to go racing at the Nurburgring. 30 minutes out here. Great weather to start right now. Let's hope it stays that way as the Celica gets out to a great start. Mikey Doble stuck behind one of the other cars, but stuck behind Tom Ingram's Porsche at the moment. A great place for him to be in. Ordinarily he's right out in front before the end of the first straight, but we keep the Toyota Celica out front. Chris Smiley challenging on the outside there with the Hankook BMW M2, doing a great job of keeping him in the rear view mirror. But here we come round the turn, and it's a little bit wide out for the Celica. getting it wrong. Chris Smiley having to take evasive maneuvers there, but we run wide. Chris Smiley gets through into first position. Daryl De Leon having a good look down the outside there with the Mustang as we try to get that position right back from Chris Smiley, running it wide, trying to keep it clean, and the Mustang of Daryl De Leon gets through. Tom Ingram now also trying to have a look there, but we're right on the back of Daryl De Leon's Mustang now, trying to get that back, coming around the outside. And will we try to get to the inside? No, we stay on the outside this time, trying to get into the side of into the best position for the overtake around the next turn. But once again, out wide, the four-wheel drive system having to work really hard just to keep that car straight at the moment. And Mikey Doble moves in to fourth position, Daryl De Leon on third, Tom Ingram in second, Chris Smiley in first. We're in fifth in the Toyota Celica at the moment, the Castrol Toyota Celica with the Porsche GT4 Cayman behind us, and the Jaguar as well of Adam Morgan, but chasing Mikey Doble's Maserati now. We don't want him to be anywhere near the front. We're trying to keep it clean and keep him behind us in the points. We're in position number 1 at the moment on the championship table with Mikey Doble in second. We're trying to get other people in between him and I so that we increase that deficit. Oh, the Celica sliding that all-wheel drives skid through that turn. It looks like we are losing ground over the curbs and bouncing that car all over the place, trying to keep up with Mikey Doble in the Ray-Ban Maserati and get an excellent sequence of turns there. He seemed to be compromised there for some reason. Don't know what happened with the Maserati, but fortunately for us we get through there. But he's not going to relinquish that position very easily, as you can see coming down the left hand side there, and he gets the position back from us side by side. It's going to be a battle between him and I through this race, it looks like. Daryl De Leon having to defend the two of us as we try to overtake on either side of him coming down the straight here. I get a better line through the outside. He seems to be defending against Mikey Doble. Doesn't get that right either. Doble gets past. He's right on my tail, and here we come over the slight hill there, and off the gas slightly there for a second, rolling the car through the turn on the brakes, trying to keep it clean. Mikey Doble with a better attack into that corner, gets the Maserati back through and in front of us. We're in fourth position. Daryl De Leon in the Mustang trying to chase us down, but here we go down the straight, trying to keep up with that Maserati of Mikey Doble. Chris Smiley still in the lead in position number 1 with Tom Ingram in the Porsche coming in second. Another big slide by the Toyota Celica. The all-wheel drive system really helping us a lot with this car. Rear-wheel drives are a lot more difficult to keep in line once you've got that rear end spinning out in the slipstream behind the Maserati of Mikey Doble. Down the inside, oh, getting the car in a slide, the curb catching that inside wheel and slightly spinning us out there. Was able to keep the car under control though, and keep from hitting the barriers, but we get through. Mikey Doble drops to fourth as we move into third position behind Tom Ingram in the Porsche 911 993. There's a more tricky section here. We hit the curbs. The curb get us all turned around, and we have to get off the gas to get that penalty done and ticked away. Now we started dropping positions, missing that turn apex completely and getting in the side of the Jaguar. Ashley Sutton gets by us in the Toyota MR2, and now we've got Josh Cook having a good look down the left hand side there, trying to get ahead of us, which he does. We're later on the brakes though, gets back into 8th position. Josh Cook now behind in the Honda, but oh, we took the turn too hot, hit the barrier. Now we got another penalty, got in the way of Sam Osmond, or unfortunately for him, that was just the racing line we were in. No way for us to get off over to the right because there was other traffic coming through on that side. So he gets jammed in behind us, and unfortunately all his momentum gone as we hit the wall again. smashing that poor Toyota Celica all over the barriers at this point. Not looking very positive for us out there at the moment. Those dirty tyres spinning us out from turn to turn. Need to be a lot more careful with those until they're cleaned up. Drop now to position number 12 with the Volvo of Daniel Rowbottom behind us. We now chasing Sam Osborne's AMG Mercedes. In front of us, the silver and turquoise Petronas livery on that car. Get a nice run on him and run the outside. Keeping it nice and tidy through there with a very high speed coming through there. Now we're chasing Aaron Tyler Smith in the Subaru. Alongside him, he's got the outside. Try to keep it nice and tight on the inside. Give him enough room on the outside to keep on going. He seems to back off and we get through. Now attacking that Honda Civic of Josh Cook. We pass him with relative ease through there. Dan Camish now in the Advan GTR Nissan Skyline. We pass him too, and Ashley Sutton now has to deal with us coming back past into 7th position. Ashley Sutton into 8th in the Toyota MR2. And now we chase Andrew Watson. Adam Morgan. We are chasing Adam Morgan in the HSBC Jaguar. A very, very busy start to the race so far. Lots of positions gained and lost through really tough cornering conditions. And whoa, we got the car all loose round the bend, losing control with the power down around that tight bend. The car goes spinning around. We have to get back onto the track, out of the racing line, and then off the accelerator as we tick away that penalty. Now we are in position number 13. Daniel Rowbottom has got ahead of us, but we get him on the inside coming through the next bend. And now we have to start trying to catch up all of that work that we've done before. And again, off the track, the Toyota Celica really not doing well out here with that all-wheel drive system. You'd expect that car to be a lot more planted, but for some or other reason it is just not handling the turns as well as we expected to. But I suppose that all came from one accident, dirty tyres, and it's just continued from turn to turn to turn. But hopefully we can keep the car out on the asphalt for a while now and get those tyres cleaned up, and we should then be able to start taking those places back. Looks like we are getting that right now. Oh, Aaron Tyler Smith getting a slight bump from us over there and getting pushed out onto the grass. So the Subaru also taking a bit of a trip into the salad because of us, it seems. A big slide through that turn, holding it nice and neat, but we do get it through. The Honda Civic Type R of Josh Cook behind us. Now we are now fighting with the two red cars. Ashley Sutton in the MR2 and Dan Camish in the Nissan GTR. We get past both of them as they battle with each other, and now we're back on the back of the Jaguar of Adam Morgan again. Side by side with him, we do get past. Now we've got a long straight for us to get the power down and try to catch up with Daryl DeLeon, Andrew Watson, Chris Smiley, Tom Ingram and Mikey Doble. Mikey Doble again in first position with the Maserati. This is a very, very long track though, and looking at our fuel situation, we are definitely going to have to go into pit, and we know that we are not the heaviest car on fuel out there, so I'm presuming that the entire field is going to have to go in and pit at the same time. So onto the slipstream behind Daryl DeLeon's Mustang, keeping us in tow with the front runners of the race, so that is good. Mikey Doble into the pits, Tom Ingram into the pits, both of them looking like they are going for the hards again. Mikey Doble only with 5% fuel left. Watson goes in, Smiley goes in, DeLeon goes in, and then we dive into the pits as well. We are on the mediums with 31% fuel remaining in the tank. Ashley Sutton also going in, and as now we see as the teams get their cars into the pits, as they fill up the tires, fill up the tank and get the tires exchanged. Everybody opting to stay on the hards again, so I think what we'll do is remain on the dry tire as well. I think that might be the wisest decision. It doesn't look like we've got much in the form of rain coming in or precipitation of any type. The clouds are rolling in, but I'm presuming that with everybody else keeping onto the dry compound, that we'll be safe with the slightly softer medium. We come out in position number 7 behind Ashley Sutton in 6th and Daryl DeLeon in 5th in the Mustang. Tom Ingram has pulled out into first position in the Porsche 911 GT3 with Mikey Doble in the Maserati in 2nd, Andrew Watson in 3rd, as you watch us trying to get in front of Ashley Sutton. We do seem to get around, but sliding the car around, he's a lot more composed through that turn, keeping the car nice and flat. Everybody's lights coming on now too because of the clouds rolling in and things are getting a little darker out there. We obviously need to make sure everybody is visible, and we slide the Celica again round the bend. Really is a good car, this, and once it goes wrong though, it goes really wrong. As we weave in between the Mustang and the BMW of Chris Smiley, who was the leader of the race for a short stint in time, and now we're chasing Andrew Watson in the Porsche GT4 Cayman. Get the pass done on him, but with big slide out there. The track does look like it is beginning to get slippery, so we may not be having rain right now, but the track definitely seeming to get slippery because it's probably cooling down now with the weather. I'm presuming that is why we're having the loss of traction, but we have got rain. Oh my word, we've got rain. The windscreen wipers are on, which means we've got to keep an eye on that damp meter, because if we start getting wet conditions out here, we are going to have one serious problem on this track. And it's a very long track, so if it starts raining now, we are going to really struggle to get this car around the next lap. So you can see on the damp meter on the left hand side bottom of the screen, there is moisture on the track, there is water on the track. Oh, we get the car slid out and, oh man, into the barrier head first. A really hard hit on the wall there. We have to move over off the racing line and get the penalty served, let that tick away before we can get on the power again, and that drops us into position number 5, back behind Chris Smiley's BMW and Daryl DeLeon behind us in the Ford Mustang. We are all over the back of Chris Smiley's BMW. I think he's probably holding us up and keeping us from sliding off the track there, using him as a barrier. As you can see, we have got some damage to the left front and our front grille as well. Powering down and getting ourselves into 3rd position, passing Andrew Watson's Porsche Cayman. And I'm not sure if running at this kind of speed is very wise in the wet, because we do have dry tyres on the car. So I'm presuming that the mediums may not be as good out here as the hards are, so even though the other drivers are on wet tyres as well, or dry tyres as well, I think they might have better road holding than us. The rain really pouring down. Now we've lost traction again. You can hear the car sliding all the way off the barrier, spinning that car around over and over, back onto the track, off the gas until the penalty is served, and then we're back on the power again. You can see how much the other cars have slowed down. We've gone off the track, spun the car around several times, back onto the track, served the penalty, and we've still remained in 3rd position. So everybody absolutely slowing down because of this weather. So we're still going to go for it. We're going to try to get as much ground made up between us and the top 2 contenders at the moment. Mikey Doble in the Maserati in position number 1, with Tom Ingram in the Porsche 911 GT3 in position number 2. So, oh, a big slide, keeping it barely under control there. So you see everybody else really taking it gingerly through the turny section of the track there, but we're going to power down and just try to get as much space made up on these straights as possible. We're going to have to start braking way earlier than we do. damages have increased, and we slide off the track in a straight line. No brakes whatsoever. Obviously locked up the brakes coming towards that turn. We're going to have to be a lot more careful out here. We've got heavy damage on the front, rear, and on both of the front tyres. So the aerodynamics is definitely going to be affected as well as the wet track conditions. That is really not going to be an easy race from here on. We're going to have to definitely go into the pits and get all of these repairs done when we get back around. But we still hold third position with Andrew Watson behind us in the Porsche Cayman GT4, Daryl De Leon behind him in the Mustang, and then Chris Smiley in the BMW behind him as we hit the barrier once again. Another trip off the track, but whoa, we've caught up to Mikey Doble, who's been overtaken by Tom Ingram. You can see the Maserati sliding and slithering that tail end all over the place. So the other drivers definitely having a bit of a problem too. We've slid off the track again, hit the barrier but not hard enough to give ourselves a penalty. But we are right up with the top two at the moment. Mikey Doble struggling to get the power down in the Maserati. We overtake him. You can just see him in the background there, just place after place after place being let through. He's dropped all the way down into position number 5 now as you watch us coming around the turn, really off the throttle. You can hear how low those revs are. Keeping the car in third. Daryl De Leon behind us now. He's overtaken Watson's Porsche GT4. As we slowly apply the power and try to ease the car up in its speed. Planting your foot down in this kind of weather just gets the car slid out and in the barrier, so you have to really be attentive when putting the power down. Tom Ingram indicating we need to go to the right, to the left, and overtake him on that side of the track. We get the pass done pretty clean, and I kind of got the feeling that he is going to be following our race line with the Porsche. See how we do. He's got a rear wheel drive, we've got a 4-wheel drive, so we should have the advantage over his car at the moment. All of the 4-wheel drives should be doing a little better out here than the rear wheel drive cars. Front wheel drives also should be doing quite well, because at least with those your pulling tyres are pulling you in the direction you want to turn. But all the way down into first gear, around the turn, and onto the power, easing onto the throttle in each gear, and we are starting to build a lead on the other drivers. Whoa, as we get onto the power a little bit too hard, coming up the hill, loss of traction, and the car goes into the barrier and around and around and around once again. So we serve the penalty, drop back into third position, but it's an easy overtake on Andrew Watson's Porsche with our 4-wheel drive car. Definitely lacking in discipline out there with the throttle. Have to really ease in or ease back on the throttle, and definitely on how hard we are hitting the brakes. Just whacking them too hard just gets the tyres locked up, and then there's no way of controlling the vehicle at all. So we stay in first. Bit of a slide there. You can see Ingram really drifting that Porsche around the corner, trying to keep it under control. So we've got both Porsches now ahead of Mikey Doble. We're in first. Tom Ingram in the 911 GT3 in second. Andrew Watson in the Cayman GT4 in third. Mikey Doble in the V8 Maserati Gran Turismo S in position number 4. In the other V8 car, Daryl De Leon in the Mustang in 5th. So things definitely switching around, as you see Chris Smiley moving up the order there, all the way into 4th. I'm not sure what happened to Daryl De Leon's Mustang, but he's dropped several places down into 7th. But still at the moment, I'm in 1st with the Celica GT4, Tom Ingram 2nd in the 911. And then we have Andrew Watson and Chris Smiley fighting it out for position 3 and 4. Tom Ingram having a look down the inside. He seems to be getting more comfortable with the driving conditions out there in the 911 GT3. It's still a really close field. 2 laps in, down the long straight here on the Nurburgring towards the start finish. But this is where the cars with the bigger engine capacities will have an advantage. Mikey Doble again moves into 1st position, then back down to 4th we go, or 3rd we go. Tom Ingram chasing him. He's got past us as well. Now we've got to be really careful on the brakes. Got the car into a slide there, too much brakes, and we're absolutely getting pummeled by all the other cars, each and every one giving us a greater and greater penalty as they force us into the barrier. 3.1 seconds with the penalties. Get back on the track, we have to move over and get off the gas to serve the penalty, just making sure we get around the corners so we don't get in anybody's way out there. We'll see us sort that penalty out shortly. So here we come down towards the pits. Oh no! Oh my word! Everybody has missed. It looks like I have missed the pits. I don't know if everybody else has or if this is their strategy, but everybody else still out as well. I didn't get into the pits. I wanted to go in and repair the car, get all the repairs done, because we've got damages on both front tyres and the right rear, as well as the aerodynamics in front and back. Still got a penalty, so we are going to tap off and get that worked away. 0.3 of a second left of that penalty. I think I was a little distracted here because oh, I hit the brakes again and slide the car off the track. Really dirty tyres, full of mud now. Penalty served. Let's go back into 11th position, and this is turning into one heck of a nightmare out here. Will we have enough fuel is the question, and will everybody else have enough fuel? They've opted to stay out by the look of it, but it wasn't our choice. My choice was to go into the pits, switch on to intermediates and get the repairs done on the car and top up the fuel, but we are not going to. We obviously didn't get to do that now, so what I'm going to have to do is switch the fuel map to the lightest possible fuel use, and hopefully we can eke out the fuel that we've got, because we've only got a quarter of a tank left. We took more than half a tank to complete a lap. We only had 30% left after doing the first lap, so this is going to really end up being a strange race. So, still trying to make our places back. We're into 4th position right now, chasing Josh Cook, who's actually settled behind us in the Porsche Cayman GT4. Rob Huff has moved up quite a few places. He started near the back of the field with the Toyota Supra, but he's in 6th now, chasing the Porsche. interesting to see where he comes at the end of this. We are on the final lap because we're definitely going to take more than 4.5 minutes to get to the finish line. So where will we end up coming? Because if the others have got sufficient fuel to get through to the end of the race, we may not have that luxury. So we're going to have to roll the car as much as possible to save fuel. So our final lap here at the Nurburgring is a fuel saver in the wet. The rain has stopped fortunately, but there's still moisture on the track which is going to affect the handling, so we're going to need to be careful where and when we brake and how we brake, as well as how hard we get on the juice after the turns. So steadily as we go, and we're into second position now. Looking at that leaderboard, we don't even see Mikey Doble anywhere in the top 8. We're in position number 2, Ashley Sutton ahead of us in the Toyota MR2. We know for sure that he will probably have more fuel than we do. That car extremely light on fuel and tyres. So if we can get in front of him and keep it there until the end of the race, that will be amazing. I'm not sure if it is going to be possible though. Looking at that fuel level, we are less than a quarter of a tank now, and we have still got at least half of the race left. Half of the final lap, I should say. You can watch the use of the throttle. We are rolling the car through as many turns as we can, keeping the revs low as we accelerate through the gears. And hopefully this strategy will give us enough fuel to actually finish the race. There is a long way to go yet. And oh, we get the car slid out. Fortunately, we weren't going quick enough there to actually slide it off and get the momentum right into the barrier. So no penalty served, no penalty to serve. But still, we have lost valuable time on Ashley Sutton, who is still ahead of us in position number 1. Jake Hill behind us now. Have a significant lead on him. Now there we can see Ashley Sutton ahead of us, so it does look like we are gaining on the Toyota MR2. So is it possible that Ashley Sutton is doing the same thing that we are? Taking it really easy, trying to eke out and make that fuel last. Changing gears about halfway through the rev range. That should definitely save fuel. But you can just hear the MR2 as it passes by the camera. Being very, very careful with the throttle at this point in time. Not the most entertaining of races, not lots of cars around us, not lots of overtaking being done, but the race is absolutely on, despite what you are seeing. There we see Ashley Sutton. He's going really slowly. I'm wondering if he may have run out of fuel. He was way ahead of us not too long ago. Our fuel is just about spent too. That looks like Sutton out of fuel. That definitely looks like Sutton out of fuel. And looking at that mini-map at the top of the screen, we are miles and miles and miles ahead of all the other big engine capacity cars. It looks like everybody has missed the pit window and everybody has run out of fuel. We're the only one on a fuel saving kind of exercise at the moment, so it looks like we may actually be able to win this race. We've got a tiny little bit of fuel left. It is the fastest section of the track coming up now. Not as many twists and turns. The ones that there are a lot less tight, a lot more gradual. So we should be able to roll through them easier without getting on the throttle, and that should lead to better fuel consumption. But that fuel light has been blinking for a good amount of time already. I'll be very surprised, or I am very surprised, that the Toyota Celica has outperformed the Toyota MR2 with fuel. I'm presuming that Ashley Sutton had thought he'd be able to get through the entire race without a pit stop. Or there was just a gross miscalculation in how much fuel the car would actually use when you did go in. So, nonetheless, we are not speeding at all. 100 kilometers per hour on the Nurburgring on some of the fastest sections of the track. Trying not to use the brakes, trying to keep the car's momentum up. Taking that corner a little wide, getting two tyres onto the grass. As we roll in third gear up to 135, 140, 150 kilometers per hour. And now we are on the long straight running towards the start finish line. And I decided to give it the beans now. Just kept it in fourth gear and decided to put my foot down because having a look at the mini-map, Ashley Sutton, still in second, has yet to even arrive on the long straight as we cross under the Bilstein Bridge, coming down towards the finish. Probably the slowest finish in the history of the Nurburgring. The last sequence of turns. Here we go, onto the start finish straight, and now we can plant the power down because we know we've got enough to get over the line. And there we go, another victory for the Castrol Toyota Celica. A very strange turn of events here. As you can see on the mini-map, the entire field of all the cars behind us, still with miles and miles to go on the track. So here is the finishing order of the race. I'm in first with the Celica. 1 minute behind is Ashley Sutton. 1 minute and 20 seconds just about. Jake Hill in the Honda S2000. The best result for him yet in the GTCC. He comes in third position. Aaron Tyler Smith also doing very well in the Impreza. In fourth position, Rob Huff in the GR Supra coming in fifth. Tom Ingram in 6th in the 911, Andrew Watson in 7th in the Cayman GT4, Josh Cook in 8th in the Honda Civic Type R, Tom Chilton finishes 9th in the R33, 4.5 minutes behind us, well, more than 4.5 minutes. In 10th, Daryl DeLeon in the Mustang GT, Chris Smiley in 11th in the M2 competition. Dan Zelos, a great result for him. After being last in every single race thus far, he moves up into 12th. Then we have Mikey Doble all the way down in position number 13. That's something that he is really not used to after being second in just about every race thus far, and winning one of them too. Then Colin Turkington in the Fair Ladies Z finishes 14th. Daniel Rowbottom's Volvo not doing as well as I thought it would, coming in 15th. 16th position is Nick Halstead in the V8 Vantage Aston Martin. That's surprising, I thought he'd do better. Same as Adam Morgan, 17th for him. So the Aston has actually jumped ahead of the Jaguar for this race. That's the first. And then we have in position number 18, Dan Camish in the GTR. Sam Osborne in the Mercedes in 19th. And Aidan Moffat in position number 20 in the Junior GTA Alpha. Well, what a strange race. But nonetheless, a brilliant result for the Toyota Celica GT4. Well guys, that's it for today. Drive safely, take care, we'll see you on the track.